I'm Perales from grade 11 St. Matthew, group 11, and our topic is sampling. But the definition and history is all represented by Team, and I am here to represent or tackle about probability sampling or unbiased sampling. Meaning, probability sampling or unbiased sampling involves random selection, allowing you to make a strong statistical inferences about the whole group. The selection of a sample from a population, when this selection based on the principle of randomization, that is random selection or chance. Meaning, dili ka magpaya in bias. So like for example, to select a sample of 100 from a population of 400, you would need a sample interval of 400 divided 100 equals 4. Therefore, the 4, you will need to select 1 unit out of every 4 units to end up with a total of 100 units in your sample. Just like the systematic sampling na magpili ka every kiyat. It means like for example me 1, ang kiyat mo is 4, so magsugod kag 1, 2, 3, 4. So ang ika-upat mo na imong first respondents. Then ihap na pod ka og 1 to 4 para makuha na pud mo ang ikduha nimo ka respondents. So dili siya bias kay nasay fairness na hitabo kay wala lang ka naga-point out or wala lang ka tudlo kung kinsay gusto nimo i-respondents. Himo og respondents rather. I also want to discuss about the sampling error. Meaning, sampling error is a statistical errors that arise when a sample does not represent the whole population. They are the difference between the real value of the population and the values derived by using sample from the population. Example of sampling error is you are studying the life experiences of grade 11 STEM student learning pre-calculus without a textbook. You conduct interviews but you only select students from a top-performing STEM section at one school. These students report that they face minimal difficulties and can cope with using online resources and teacher explanation. Why is this sample errors? Because the only of high-achieving student who might have stronger math skills and better access of resources. Then how about the other student nga nagalisod or mas prefer ang naay textbook. So malagap ni siya gabayas siya sa gabayas mo sa kuan sa time nga nagpili siya ga-interview siya sa gi-interview niya is only select lang siya sa mga student nga mga honors or mga top high performing by the STEM section at one school. So meaning mura po ni siya og nagbias ka kay select lang ka og naga-select lang kag top performing without knowing nga mas prepare nga ikan magkanda og interview katong mga dili top performing kay para mas mo spread out ang inyong study. To avoid sampling error, you choose to conduct interviews not the only select student from a top performing. So instead of select student from a top performing STEM section at one school, you should select student randomly to avoid bias. So para mas dako ang imuhang nakaingon magodere nga the smaller the sample is, the bigger the number of sampling error. So kung gamay ra ang imuhang mga respondents, meaning imuhang sample, meaning ang sampling error is magkadako. So meaning dili lang jud ka stick sa top performing STEM section at one school. So maga-interviews pa ka sa mga lain-lain nga mga section or sa mga lain-lain nga school para lang para maka-avoid sa sampling error. And there are the types of probability sampling. Our first types of probability sampling is simple random sampling. Meaning is a method where every individual in the population has an equal chance of being selected. It is used to ensure fairness and reduce bias. So, examples. You are studying the experiences of grade 11 STEM student learning pre-calculus without textbook and a school with 51 STEM student. You first list the 51 STEM student in the school. Second, assign each student a number from 1 to 51. Use a random selection method such as random number generator and select 15 students randomly that participate in and choose 15 students randomly that participate and choose 15 students randomly participate in your study. So, this types of probability sampling is dili siya mabias. So, naka-state dili is method where every individual in the population has an equal chance of being selected. So, sa example na to is, you are studying the experiences of grade 11 STEM student learning pre-calculus without textbook in school with 51 STEM student. So, what I've said earlier na kung gusto ka mag-study o sa 51 ka student and gusto ka magkuha og 15 ka respondents, kuhaon mo tanan list of 51 student, then you put it in the generator or sa box lang kanang pwede ra nimo ikuan. Then you pick and mag-pick kag 15 ka student without bias. Di siya mahimong nga bias kay wala makaga-point out, wala kaga assign lang kung kinsa mag-imuhang gusto ma-respondent. So, simple random sampling is the kind of method that to ensure fairness and reduce bias. So, it is the simplest method that we should use by conducting our research. The second one is a systematic sampling. Meaning, systematic sampling is the kind of probability sampling that the chance and system are the ones to determine who should compose the sample. Then the examples. If you want to have a sample of 150, you may select a set of numbers like 1 to 15. And out of the list of 1,000 students, take every 50th on the list until you complete the total number of respondents to constitute your sample. So meaning, like, for example, the 50th. So, you first count the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 until you reach out the 50th. Then the first 50th is your first respondents. Then the second 50th is your second respondents. Then the third 50th is your third respondents until you complete the total number of your respondents to constitute your sample. The third one is the stratified sampling. Meaning, stratified sampling is a method where the population is divided into subgroups, or we call it strata, based on a specific characteristic, and random sample is taken from each subgroup. This ensures that all groups are represented in the final sample. Example, you want to study with the expenses of grade 11 STEM student learning pre-calculus without a textbook and school with 51 STEM student. You first identify the strata or subgroup. You decide, then the second one is you decide to group students based on their academic performance. For example, high performance student with 18 student, average performing student with 10 student, and low performing student with 23 student. Then if you want to survey 30 student, then you get the 10 student from the high performing student, then that magkwapod ka sa 10 for average performing student and 10 pud sa low performing student, and randomly select student from each group by using simple random sampling. And the last one is cluster sampling. Meaning, cluster sampling is a method where population is divided into groups, clusters, and then entire clusters are randomly selected for the random studied instead of selecting individuals. This method is useful when the population is large and difficult to sample and is individually. Example, you want to study the experiences of grade 11 STEM student learning pre-calculus without a textbook across 10 schools in your city with a total of 1,000 STEM students. You first divide the population into clusters. So, i-divide mo ang 1,000 sa 10. So, 10 ang imuhang ang 10 ka student, i-divide mo siya into clusters. So, na siya 10 ka schools. Each school is treated as a cluster. 10 school or equals 10 clusters. The second is randomly select entire clusters. Suppose you randomly pick 3 school out of the 10. So, katong 10 nga imuhang pili sa clusters, magpili na pod ka dito sa clusters o 2 local school out of the 10. Then, survey all STEM students in the selected school. Katong 3 ka randomly schools nga imuhang gipili, if the selected of 3 schools have 300 STEM students, you study all 300 students instead of selecting individuals from all 10 schools. So, mas mapadala ang imuhang pagkuha og mga samples dito kaysa sa mag-isa-isa, mag-individual pa ka sa 1,000 ka student. So, gidivide ni ang 1,000 ka STEM student sa 10 ka schools, i-divide na into clusters, then sa clusters na pili kag tulo ka schools. So sa tulo ka school magpili na pud ka dito og kung pila ang gusto nimo himo ka sample.